Welcome to the Knitty Kitties channel with me, Emily Artful. And today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of my sketchbook. This particular one is 62 pages. It's a Daler and Rowney one, which I got for my birthday, late September. It also includes Inktober. Now I know it's a bit late at the time of filming this, we're into November, but better late than never, I reckon. It's always good to keep it on video as well. In a video coming up, I'm going to be showing you, and this is a sneak preview, Tabby May's colour charts. So I can't wait to show you this, but that'll have its very own video. Now it's a whole book filled with colour charts, which is perfect for any artist and colourist. But that's in another video, so look out for that one. Please do like and subscribe. But today is sketchbook time. Now then, let's have a look. So this went from late September to the 1st of November 2019. And this is the title page, and this is a Spectrum Noir colouring in tag, and I used the metallic pencils to colour that in. So I've tried a bit of calligraphy here. I got a calligraphy pen for my birthday, which is a left-handed one. Just for the sake of saying, I'm not sponsored or affiliated by any of the brands I'm going to talk about. It's just, I'm going to talk in particular about the different types of art supplies I used within this sketchbook. So that's an owl that I did with metallic pencils. This first page as such is dedicated to Helen Elliston, who's a fantastic artist. She does a series of books called Colorista Special Effects, and these are from book 3. Allegedly she is working on a book 4, and they are fantastic. They really bring on your artistic skills and your colouring in, make things really pop from the page. This in particular is some of her flower tutorials that I've completed. Now you'll notice on some pages I've sketched on the left and some I haven't, just because they kind of go on to the next side. So some of them you'll see I've left, but see that sunflower's kind of done that there. And I coloured them in Prismacolor Premier. See, this one's gone over to the other side as well. This is based on a mannequin that I got for my birthday. There's actually 2 of them in the pack. This is off my fiance, as was the sketchbook actually. I got spoilt. So I decided to do a sketch of him with Pilot Colour Eno. I really like them. They just make it more vibrant for sketching, a bit more interesting. There's Yosemite Sam. I really like doing cartoon characters because it helps you to practice all the different noses, eyes and hands and stuff like that, but in a cartoony way, and they're just fun to draw. Obviously I'd never use that without anyone's permission, as in selling it. It's literally just for doing in a sketchbook, as I always credit artists the original art. This I did with the Pilot pen, the Pilot Colour Eno, the hair. That was my first go of it. It was quite heavy-handed, and it was a practice at a video I did with Faber Castell Pitt artist pens. They're brush pens with India ink, and I can't quite get to grips with them really, and I didn't in the video either. I'll link that to you in the description, but it's just nope. But it's good to have a play around with these things and get used to them and stuff like that. That was Jelly Roll Test, was a pen that I got, which was the first ever Jelly Roll one I got. Just seeing what it wrote like, and they're very nice actually. This again was with the Faber Castell pens, and I was trying to figure out the lightest is the base and the darkest is where the shadows cast, but I decided that this was definitely for lip colour. Less is more and use sparingly. Here's some more sketches I did of some cat paws because I really like doing pet portraits. I've actually got a shop on Facebook and on Etsy where you can buy my portraits. A shameless plug there, but yeah, if you can have a look at my Instagram as well and have a look at some of the other drawings I did which aren't in a sketchbook, they're in like a portfolio. So yeah, there's that, and that's a drawing of a close-up of Harley Quinn that I seen on Instagram and I just wanted to sketch it. That's actually a sketch of a lemon, but did it in orange. That's very weird, but it was, I probably picked the wrong one, and oh, it's quite orange, it's too orange. There's one of my favourite characters, Wonder Woman, working out. This was a first attempt at using, again not sponsored, Spectrum Noir aqua pens, and I used a water reservoir brush as well to kind of see what the effect would be like if I added water, and it's literally just the first quick go, that it's not anything impressive or whatever, but isn't that what sketchbooks are for, basically practicing, and they don't have to be perfect, but if something does, it's a brilliant idea to work on, I guess. So this was the day before Inktober where I started to build up. I left it really late with what I was going to do and decided that I was going to base the whole thing on felines and on cats. And as an introduction page, this character is called Fluffy de Mimsy Porpington, which a lot of Harry Potter fans probably recognise. It's only actually this year that I actually got into the Harry Potter films and the books. We're talking 2019 here, so it's very, very late, but I really like them actually. So this book, where he's got his book on it to read, is based on an Exodus album cover, and he's got the Harry Potter glasses. This is based on my cat, Fluffy, and he basically thinks of himself as the lord of the house, and if he gets panicky if his dish isn't full, and even if you fill it up for him, he's okay then, it's got food in it, everything's alright. He's got his family portraits up here and a skull in a bird cage, which is quite metal, isn't it really? But this is my little practice again at calligraphy, and he's wrote, "I am the lord of the house, no other pet is before me. Food dish must be kept full, all household income must be spent on me," and he signed it there as well. I can just imagine that's the kind of thing he'd do if he could write and stuff like that and had posable thumbs. So then I got to practicing feline noses and eyes, just little sketches really, and this is the official prompts list. I decided I was going to follow the official one but make every single one about cats or felines, lions and such like. So if we get started with the actual Inktober, and this was the first, October the 1st, and the prompt was ring. So this is a chap getting down on his knees and proposing to his girlfriend. I hope she said yes. I used Spectrum Noir metallic markers and mixed it with water to try and get this effect. It's not brilliant, but it was literally just a kind of experiment really, and these are really, really nice. They don't work brilliantly on this type of paper, but again, it's all about experimenting, isn't it really? And I think I started off quite original and then went and did things which already exist, and I had a bit of a mix of the two, and I think I became quite ill on one day and I still tried it and it was a disaster, but you'll see that coming up. But otherwise I'm quite pleased, and it's a good habit to get into, to draw at least one drawing every day, so that's why I did it. The set day 2 was mindless, and I thought of a skull. Because there's no brain in there, I thought mindless, that was my way of thinking, and I quite liked the idea of one half of it being the lion and the other one being the skull. So that's that really, and I used again the metallic markers. I tended to use through Inktober Pigma Micron pens, which this is the only existing one now. They all run out during this, and that's just the pen one which I use for writing. And as the last few days came up, I was using these ones which I got off Wish, I think, either Wish or AliExpress, and they're not too bad. They're different again. I prefer the quality of the Pigma, but I mean, these are things that you use loads and they don't last long, so you may as well buy cheap ones really, because they're really good. So that's day 2, and then day 3 was bait, and this is a little black cat. He's at home and the bait is getting bigger and bigger and he's getting more greedy, and it leads him to the dog who's gonna eat him, which is quite brutal really. And it looks like it's based in a family home. You've got the picture of the two of them together, they're behaving, that their master took. There's another cat hiding in there, and it's really quite a Bruton kind of theme, that, but it amused me as well really. So this next drawing isn't a Inktober one, it's from one of the videos that I did while Inktober was running, and I was swatching the Holbein pencil set, and I did this drawing of Deet, which was around at the time on Netflix, The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, and is amazing. It's a brilliant show, and not my drawing, the show is amazing. I really enjoyed that program, so I'll link the video so you can see that. Day 4, the prompt was freeze, and I used to have a cat called Phoebe, and she used to like licking on ice lollies in the summer, and it always amuses me when you give a cat something and their eyes go cross-eyed or boss-eyed, and for some reason I just drew like a weird hat on it. It just came to mind and amused me, so that's enjoying itself there during the summer, I guess. Day 5 was build, and I thought of Arnold Schwarzenegger as a cat, because that makes perfect sense, doesn't it, with his 10 pack, and again another funny amusing one. Day 6 was husky, so I went for somebody's obviously it's their pets here, and the cat's trying to be just as cute by doing a head tilt just like the puppy would. Their husky dog, he's got his claws out. Typical cat. Day 7 is enchanted, and again I went for Harry Potter here, Expelliarmus and all that. He's even got the scar. It's not a brilliant drawing again, but I hope to make maybe some of these into ideas for art, and use them for something maybe, or maybe they're just kept in here. I'd like to look back in a year's time and hope that I've improved. Watch this video and see that I've improved a lot next Inktober. Day 8 is frail. Now obviously this chap is quite portly, but I thought of an old age chap and he's had a snack on a fish there. Yes, that's frail, and he's got his walking stick. Day 9 didn't go so great. I was practicing more calligraphy again, and I thought, oh, because it's Inktober, I should try maybe drawing a picture with the calligraphy pen, but it didn't go too great really. But never mind, I tried with a brush pen as well, and it didn't take too well to this paper, so maybe that's another one to do another time and pop it in here. If I do, I'll put it on Instagram or something maybe. So I did that without drawing it in pencil first, which I did with the other 8. So note to self is to draw it in pencil first and then ink, because a lot of people are saying they draw straight away in ink, but well, try that, but it didn't work for me, so amateur. So day 10 again, I'm not very pleased with this one. It is a very, very rough sketch, and it was done with these uniball signo, TSI. They actually erase. I won't do it, but yeah, they erase as well. And it was just a quick sketch, but maybe one day I'll turn that into something. Who knows? Maybe. Day 11 was one of my favourite ones. They're only very quick sketches, but I thought of Jon Snow and Daenerys as cats. And there's also the snowman, which I went to see with one of my friends from school, Rachel. It's a lovely memory that I have, and drew the little boy as a cat instead. He looks terrified because they're flying. Yeah, so that's a nice memory. Day 12 is dragon, and I was really looking forward to this one because I do like dragons. I decided that he'd have a little black pet cat with him, and that again was done with the Spectrum Noir metallic on black paper. Day 13, a lot of people I've seen on Twitter and Instagram were going for Ash Ketchum, and also volcanoes, cigarette ash, and so I decided I was going to draw, instead of Pikachu, I'd draw him with a pet cat, and that actually looks like my first cat that I had when I was little. So day 14, this is where, I was quite ill and I was like, no, I'm going to do it, I feel woozy, but I'm going to do it. Day 14, overgrown, and that is probably one of the worst drawings I've done in a long time. But, I mean, I show it there, so, improvements can be made, and, it's there, and I can redo it if I want to. I'm quite pleased with the cat, but there you go. No. And yeah, that sums it up, doesn't it? Worst Inktober drawing ever. But there you go. That's that. It was an off day. We all have them, don't we? Day 15 was Legend, and for me that sums up no other than Freddie Mercury. With his cat Tiffany, he absolutely loved his cats. So I wanted to find out their names. There was Jerry, Delilah, Goliath, who's the black one, Miko, Romeo, and Oscar. So if you're wondering what his cat's names were, there you go. There may have been more. Day 16 is Wild, and I put this up on Facebook and Instagram, and people seem to quite like it. Again, it's only a rough sketch, but I'm very pleased with it. I'm very pleased, and maybe do that again. It's just getting used to drawing with ink. I'm not used to it at all. I like drawing with these, but yeah, practice again, just more practice needed. Day 17 was ornament, and I wanted to do kind of like sugar skulls. So there was the Day of the Dead one, and one that looks like a skeleton, and then a real cat is looking at them. What are you wanting to knock them off? If anyone wants to know, these were actually, I found them on Google. And if anyone wants to know the original artists or makers of these, do comment below and I'll get that to you, so you can have a look. Day 18 was Misfit. Now there's a YouTube channel I like called Sock Puppet Parody, and they do a video of the Misfits with Jerry only. Now I'm not a fan of the band or anything like that. I know the odd song, but I was amazed by how he was with his fans, and it impresses me with stuff like that, how nice they can be to the fans. So I think he's a good guy, and so I drew him as a cat because it's the only thing I could think of as Misfit really. And then when you see everyone else is on Twitter and you think, oh yeah, but I'm not going to copy anyone obviously, but you have your own ideas, and I tended to put what first comes to mind, like, so that's what happened to come to mind. Day 19 was Sling, and I googled cat sling and this is what came up. looks like a very disgruntled cat, and maybe she can make it up to him carrying him round in that sling with a can of tuna maybe. He doesn't look very happy at all to be carried round. Maybe he's been to the vet or something. Day 20 was tread, and what came to mind was Olivia Newton-John in that physical video, but with a cat with leg warmers on and a headband on the treadmill. It just amused me. So let's move to day 21, and the prompt was treasure. What came to mind was Treasure Island, which is one of my favourite books to read, but a cat version of the pirate, Long John Silver, with a parrot, which had never happened maybe, but he's found a load of treasure, and happens to be a cute starfish on the beach as well. So that was that prompt. Day 22, it was coming up to Halloween, so I drew a cat. I tried to do realistic paws, and he's got a bed sheet over him, pretending to be a ghost. 23 was one of my favourites. I love Egyptian stuff, it fascinates me, and ancient, first thing that came up was a cat statue, and I looked up Egyptian symbols, and that says dreamies. I don't know if it actually is real hieroglyphics, but it just amused me to do that as a dreamies. D-R-E. So 24, I started to draw more well-known characters because I wanted to include some of my favourite cartoon characters, one of them being Sylvester, and he looks very dizzy here. So he's very, very good character. Day 25, I went for my own kind of design again, and it was tasty was the prompt, so I made my own restaurant called Matt Kitty's. So you got fries, a milkshake and a hamburger in the style of a cat themed restaurant. Day 26 I did on black paper because the prompt was dark, just very simple with a white gel pen. I used, I can't remember which one, it wasn't a jelly roll. I'll put that in the description anyway and let you know. It's very good. It might have been a white Posca pen actually, but I put it in the book with some washi tape there, stuck it in. Day 27, I wasn't very original again, but the prompt was coat, and I'm not particularly fond of Hello Kitty, but I really like drawing her. So lab coat came to mind, and the first thing I seen was some Hello Kitties. This one is based on a pin badge that you can buy from the California Science Centre, and if anyone wants a link to that, I can pop that down for you, just let me know and I'll find that out for you. And this was by a person on DeviantArt, and I'm not even going to attempt to say the name, but it is there to credit the original artist. Again, never sell anything that isn't your original work. It's a naughty thing to do, and always say who the original artist is. Speaking of which, we've got Jim Davis's creation here, a Garfield, for day 28, and the prompt was ride. I don't know if this is a naughty thing to say, but I don't particularly like the newer films of Garfield where they've done like computer CGI version of him. I much prefer the original, but there we go. I wouldn't be against anyone liking it or anything, but that's just my personal opinion. He's a good character. Day 29 is the prompt was injured, and I drew Itchy and Scratchy. Instantly came to mind, and I can never say this chap's name who did The Simpsons, but he's an absolutely fantastic cartoonist, and I used Arteza alcohol pens to colour that in. They're very vibrant and nice. I also used them on day 30 and day 31. Day 30, the prompt was catch, so that instantly brought up Tom and Jerry for me by Hanna-Barbera. So very good characters there. Unfortunately, they seem to bleed with these new ones that I was using, which was a shame. And then I see water-based, so they're alcohol-based, they're water-based. But it's always good to experiment and see what works and what doesn't with each other. Day 31 was the last day, and ripe, what instantly came to mind was a cat's litter tray, because that's just my sense of humour. Very strange and warped, but that's what. And it came, I thought of Ren and Stimpy with his gritty kitty litter. Stays crunchy even in milk. And I love the creator of them. It's such a weird and wonderful cartoon. And again, I use the Arteza markers which go through this paper, but very vibrant, very nice. So that's the end of the Inktober section. And then there's just some sketches that I see that I want to do, and I save on my phone and practice off Instagram, and these were off Instagram. I don't know who the original artist is, but do credit them in the comments if you know. This was from a Kindle ebook which you could download for free, and it just encourages your art and stuff, and it's quite Dali based, and I love Dali. If anyone else is a Dali fan, do comment. This is quite a derpy looking Speedy Gonzales. I didn't really continue with it because I'd messed up the face, but again, it's good to practice and just develop your skills drawing characters that you know. There's just a little sketch of a snail, and these sketches of leaves was from a very inspiring artist on YouTube called Emily Artful. She did a video about flowers and the anatomy of flowers. She's not a really big expert, or never said that she was. She just likes to study the little tiny bits of flowers and stuff like that, and it inspired me to maybe find out all the different shapes of leaves. Obviously they're not all there on one A4 page, but very inspiring YouTuber, and I'll link her down below if you want to watch her. She's very, very good artist indeed. It's very inspiring there. So thank you, Emily Artful, for inspiring me with that one. So we've got two famous cartoon characters here, Tasmanian Devil and Bugs Bunny. A lot of people did him for the prompt speed in the Inktober as well, I noticed. So this, you may recognise this character off the film Dune and off the computer game. This was a sketch I did for my fiance, and yeah, he's a very scary looking character, isn't he? And there's Roadrunner looking at him. So here's the metal page. This is probably the most metal page in the whole of the sketchbook. Thundercats, absolutely love it. Now I'm a Redbubble fan artist. Well, Redbubble made me a fan artist because I'd submitted some cartoons, and I did one of Death Clock, Metalocalypse, and they accepted it. So this is a sketch I've done of the 5 characters looking quite angry with kids' balloons with brutal on them, and I'm going to make that into a design. So I should put register trademark and no one steals it. It's only a very rough sketch. This is a very rough sketch as well. Now I'm left-handed, and I thought, oh, I could draw the palm of my hand, put down my right hand, but they look like fingertips, but they're not. They're supposed to be these pad bits on your fingers, and it just looks wrong. I don't mind this bit. I'm quite happy with that. I don't mind the thumb so much, but not this bit. It just went a bit wrong, but more practice needed. This is one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja / Hero Turtles, depending on what you call it. Michelangelo or Mikey eating some pizza. I sent a photo of this to Jackie Nerdecrafter, who's on YouTube as well, and she seemed to like it as well. She's a big fan of the turtles. I used to love them back in the day. Also Biker Mice from Mars, another metal cartoon. There's a quite derpy edition there, and then I redrew it better. That's Modo. This was when me and my fiance went out photographing in North Wales one day. There was a field we went past and there was a sheep and a crow, and I just imagined them having a picnic and having a chat together. Just weird brain, I suppose, but just I like to have a sense of humour about everything and see the funny side in it and that. So this is quite a sad one, to go from a funny one to quite a sad one. This is two of my school friends, and sadly this one on the left died this year, sadly. She was very, very young, and they used to, she was in my class in school, in high school, and they were sisters. They used to walk off the bus together and down like this little country lane. We live like, there's a like big industrial town, and then there's like countryside right outside it, the green belt, and they used to walk off together. I just thought it was the cutest thing I'd ever seen, and when she became ill this year, I remembered it and how cute, and just the bond between the two of them was adorable, and I drew it in memory of her, and it's really, really sad, but a really, really lovely memory as well. So let's go on to something a bit happier and funner, but it's just the way things are. I'm opening up to you a bit here, but yeah, that's what you do with a sketchbook, isn't it? It's quite personal. Defenders of the Earth was an amazing cartoon back in the day. I can't remember this chap's name, comment below if you do know. There's Ming the Merciless, Flash Gordon, he's awesome, Mandrake the Magician, can't speak properly, and Jeddah Walker. Do you remember any other characters from that cartoon? Join in, comment below, and tell me what your favourite cartoon is as well. So I've got some sketches here of dog's paws. Again, I do the portrait, so it's always good to do some little sketches of different bits of bodies and anatomy. That was actually off Google, I just liked it and sketched it there. This is another Helen Elliston one from her Colorista Special Effects. I went a bit overkill with the white white gel pen there, but yeah, and I'm otherwise pleased with that because it does look quite tasty, and that was in Prismacolor Premier again. So moving on the next page, I've got some Pokemon, some of my favourite ones that I think are the cutest. Got Mew, this cat one that I've noticed on Pokemon Go, I think is brilliant. Psyduck, Farfetch'd, there's a new one of him in the Pokemon game coming up this year. Unless you're in the future, that'll already be a thing. Pikachu, looking shocked, and I love Jigglypuff and Dugtrio as well. So they were done again with this Pilot Colour Eno, all the different colours. Very fun to sketch, and if you haven't got anything that comes to mind to sketch, it's always good to draw Pokemon. This is a cartoon which I don't know where you are in the world, you might not be familiar with it. It's a Welsh one called Ivor the Engine, and this is Jones the Steam. I went so Welsh then. There's a Welsh dragon off the flag, and it's a brilliant cartoon. It's like, I think it's stop motion, I'm not sure how they do it, but it's quite an older one. I feel so old now. I used to have this on a t-shirt, and it was quite a hard drawing to do, but I really, really enjoyed it. And it brings back memories of childhood and stuff like that. So we got My Neighbour Totoro characters, Totoro and the Soot and different things like that. It's one of my favourites. Anything Studio Ghibli really. I'm more Ghibli than Disney, but I do like the odd Disney. Got Betty Boop. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Betty Boop, but I really love drawing her because she's quite detailed in some way. It's one of them you either try to get it spot on, or it can look a bit like her chin there's a bit too big. So it's always good to practice. I believe this is her original puppy, was Bimbo, and then got took over by Pudgy a bit later. Ooh. She looks a bit shocked there. There's the original She-Ra, the best one in my humble, but that's just my opinion. I don't want to start an argument with anyone, but I'm an 80s kid, so that's my favourite. And it was a fun to draw one, but I think I got the mouth wrong, I got the leg wrong. I didn't do too bad at the sword though, I think. Could do better. This is the wonderful artist Fritz, who did the Pink Panther, and the films are amazing as well. Got Inspector Jacques Clouseau, Big Nose the Little Man, the Aunt Charlie, Pink Panther himself, and the Aardvark. Brilliant cartoon. I love Lilo and Stitch, though I'm not a big fan of Elvis. I love the cartoon itself and the film. There's Stitch, Experiment 626, and Lilo's Teddy. I always say that my cat Fluffy is like a Experiment 625, the one before him, because he's off his head. He's a crazy cat. Speaking of cats, this is my favourite Disney film ever, is The Aristocats. And there's Duchess Marie. Can you say his name? I know when I watched the actual film itself, I'm like, oh yeah, but I can never say that name. And Toulouse. Is he the one that goes like that? It's such a wonderful film, I love it. Then we've got Thomas O'Malley. Brilliant. I love it when he lies on his back. I want to do a sketch of him when he's lying on his back. And the little mouse as well, named after Smelly Cheese. And here's the band, which were really, really fun to draw. Shun Gon, Hit Cat, Billy Boss and Peppo. And you got the two dogs there as well, over the page, Napoleon. They were quite hard to do, that sketch, but it was fun as well. Now this isn't very good, but it's Belle from Beauty and the Beast with a sheep, and I think that's a brilliant film as well. And it looks like we've reached the last one. Now it's a shame, I got this from Wish. There's a glass pen and you dip one of the pens that you dip in. I thought, well, why didn't I use that during Inktober? So I thought I'd dedicate the last page to drawing a picture of Edgar from the Aristocats, and he's saying, well, his maths is absolutely terrible, but he's determined to get that money off the lady, isn't he, instead of the cats getting it. That's a really good film, I really like it, but you let me know your favourite Disney film in the comments below, or whatever film, and I could draw it for you if you wanted. It's all practice, isn't it? So thank you for looking through the sketchbook tour with me, I've really appreciated it. I do hope you like and subscribe to this and click all so you can get notified of our up and coming videos, one of them being this complete collection of colour charts by Tabby May. Absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to show you it. I'm going to swatch Faber Castell because I've not used them in a video, so you can see what this is like. It's very high quality paper. More coming on that in the next video. So I do hope you stick around, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.